Alright, today, let's see how many parts this is going to take. I'm going to go over the MSR kusari fundo, how to make that. It's actually, it's pretty simple, I would say. There's a couple more steps than normal. All the tools, if you've been making your own and you got some of the stuff that I showed in my videos, you should have no problem doing this. I think it took me about an hour and a half, 2 hours maybe, to make this. So first off, we're just going to go over the supply list. For steel, you're going to need a 3/4 round piece. You can get that I think I saw it at Home Depot if you have a Tractor Supply. They come in like 38-foot length, or 38-inch lengths, sorry. Those are a little expensive, they're like 13-14 bucks. But if you can find, another substitute for it, go right ahead. You're going to need an 1/8 inch piece of round stock. Got that right here. That's only like $2, so that's not bad. A 1-inch ring from Home Depot. If you go in their chain section, or even Lowe's has these. I'm sorry, not Home Depot. They're just 1-inch rings. They're in their chain section. I think they're like 97 cents. You're gonna need one of them. You're gonna need chain, which you can get pretty much anywhere. I chose this style because this is the style that matches the picture of the fundo. Get about 2 feet of it. Heat, you're going to need torches. Now you're going to need the acetylene torches if you're going to want to close up the rings. If not, that's fine. You don't really have to. Hacksaw. Some cutters, like bolt cutters or large wire snips, because you're going to need to cut through this ring. A grinder or a sander. I got my grinder right there. That's all you're going to need. If you have a sander, that will help out just for the finishing touches, just to make it, smooth. But you can, go just a grinder. A drill, you're going to need a 1/8 drill and a 1/4 inch drill. A vise and some vise grips. Some of these. And one of those. And a hammer. You're going to need that just for some light tacking. But pretty much, you're going to need, we're going to start off with your rod. I made the mistake when I first did it of actually cutting it off first, and that was a huge mistake. So don't do that. It's a lot easier to hold on to this when it's a long piece. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to measure 1/4 inch down from the end. Let me turn this over so I'll draw a bigger picture of it. This is the end of your piece. We're going to want to put a 1/4 inch hole down from the center, or from the end, and put a 1/4 inch hole right in the center of the piece. So once you get that done, you're going to have a 1/4 inch hole in there, and then a 1/2 inch down. That's where you're going to want to start to make, you're going to want to start grinding. And you're going to grind basically all the way around it. And this is why I said it's easier to have a longer piece, because you can hold on to the back side of it and turn it. What you're going to end up with is that. Definitely drill your hole first. Trying to drill a hole straight down on an angle like that, trying to go straight through, is very hard. So if you drill your hole first, then do your grinding, then you're all set. I think the top of this, yeah, it's like a 1/4 inch. And that's my garage. So I left a 1/4 inch diameter on the top. I went a 1/2 inch down and just smoothed that out. I got my quarter inch hole in there. If you got a round file or something to clean that out, or anything you can clean this out with, you know, it's not that critical. But you need this taper for the circumference of the ring, for it to go inside there properly and to move around, so you need that. Then I took my hacksaw and I cut it down to about 2.5 inches. Yeah, anywhere around there is close. The measurements I got, there's about a 200 thou difference, so you can be off a little bit. It's not that critical. I mean, if you're off by 1/8 of an inch, that's not going to matter. I did mine at, like I said, 2.5. Is that 2.5? At 2 3/8. Then I just cleaned up the back on a sander and beveled the edge. So this is one of the main parts of it, is the weight. There's only one weight in this design. But the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make the ring to go inside here. Now to do that, I'm going to take the same rod that I used to make my weight out of, and I'm going to take my, see if I can do this with a better view. Okay, got your rod, you got your thin 1/8 piece. Make sure I can get this into the camera. I'm going to take my vice grips. You're going to want to clamp this on to your 3/4 inch round piece. Like that. And then all you're going to do is use some muscle and just start bending this around. Sorry if a lot of this isn't in view, but it's not that easy to do in this confined space that I got. A little bit. Okay, so I'm just gonna bend this around, get a good 2 or 3 wraps to make sure you're gonna get a good nice ring. Okay, take this off here. So now I got a nice little ring. Then all I'm going to do is you can either cut this with your vise, or pop it in your vise any way that it'll fit. And you can cut this with a hacksaw. I'm going to use a small pair of bolt cutters just to make it a little bit quicker for me. And it looks like my bolt cutters are dull. There we go. You might end up with a couple more rings. I ended up with 2. But now we got a ring. Just gonna take some pliers, which everyone should have those handy, even though I don't. Here they are. Just gonna take some pliers and tweak that out a little bit. Then what you're gonna want to do is come back over to the vise. You're gonna want to put this in just so the top piece is sticking out. You don't have to do this step. I do it because it looks nicer. Just clean up those cuts. If you use the hacksaw, you probably might not need to do this, because it might leave a nice flat surface, but the bolt cutters don't. So then we got that. So you got your weight, your first ring, and you're going to want your piece of chain. Here's the end of the chain. Loop that through here. And then all you do is bend that back into place. Now you see how there's I got a little space right there. If I open up my channel locks a little bit, just by giving it some squeezes in certain areas. That's really not in focus, is it? Just by squeezing it, you know, around the circle, around the ring, you can bring those pieces really close. So that's going to be your first end of the fundo. I'm going to just do some finishing touches on this. We'll come back with the next video, which should be the other end of it. So, we'll see you then.